So today I traded two stocks, as you can see here and here. I know it's a big loss, but I'll first. I forgot to do my video yesterday, um, so um, I can't really, and I barely remember how I performed yesterday, except for this calendar that I have of my trades. But yesterday was a bad day. All week's been a bad week compared to last week. Honestly, I've been having a lot of discipline issues, and I've been chasing, and I'm writing little notes here. Um, uh, you know, I'm chasing. I'm failure with discipline. Every trade that I had this week, I practically was up. I didn't take my gains. I was like, no, I want more money. I want more money. I want more money. Got greedy and ended up um, being under by a large amount, but kept getting saved. So on Monday, I took $1,000 loss. But my second trade after that, on that Monday, I got lucky with a 120 versus 1,000. That Tuesday was the same situation. I had a large loss, but luckily I got lucky. The stock went down, it went to an $80 loss. I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it was Monday through Thursday. I mean, Monday through Wednesday, I was up 400, $800. Didn't take it, and I ended up squeezing on me. It was down a lot, but luckily it came down a little bit. I was able to exit with a smaller loss. But all week I just been um, haven't been taking the gains. I haven't been taking my profits. I've just been really greedy this week, and today I ended up getting burned this time, really burned. And they even said in the video, um, you chase, you get squeezed on, it comes down, it goes against you. You know, you're down a lot, but you get lucky and it comes back down. But one day you're gonna get burnt, and today was the day. And I knew that day was coming because I kept repeating the same stupid mistake over and over again. Um, so with this stock, let me try to get back to the beginning of the day. Let me put on the arrows. All right, so with this stock, honestly, um, I looked it up. It had an offering. I was looking at two stocks. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep burping. Um, um, it had an offering, and I'm like, okay, it has an offering. The news wasn't really giving me much information, but it had a high float. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna come down. And I honestly, I was not even thinking when it came to trading today. I just wasn't thinking. So I was letting the stock spike, and I was looking to see where I can short it, and I missed this short. Same thing on the next stock. I missed the short at the high day, and I chased the bitch. I chased it. I chased it. So as you can see right here, my entry was at the near bottom. I chased it. I got in $300. I'm like, okay, I chased the stock. Um, it when I knew I shouldn't, and I did it with a small amount of shares. So I was like, okay, I got my entry. I'm up a couple $100, and it's just not enough money for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let it spike back up, and I'm gonna add, and that's what I did. You see my entries right here and right here, and I do this all the time when I break all my rules and I'm just thinking of money versus strategy. I just imagine the stock is gonna go my way, and that's the wrong strategy. That's holding and hoping. That's not the way I've been taught. But sometimes I slip into this mindset of thinking it's just gonna go my way. So I added, knowing I shouldn't have, especially adding on to a loser. So I oversized. I went from 300 shares to 600 shares to to another 300, which was 900 in total. I asked myself, where is your risk? Couldn't even answer the question because I completely threw all my rules out of the window and wasn't being disciplined. And I'm sitting here watching the stock spike against me, and my risk went from, I was thinking maybe cutting it here, cutting it here, cutting it here, cutting on this spike, cutting on higher day. Didn't even do none of that, and I watched myself down, be up a couple hundred, maybe $400 to being down, a couple hundred, 1,000, and as you see it keep uptrending, I was up almost 2,000 right here. And then it pulled back. It gave me a chance to get out with um, it gave me a chance to get out with a um, like probably like a $50 loss or barely a loss. Didn't take it. Then it pulled, it spiked up, gave me a second chance to get out. I didn't recognize that, I didn't recognize these signs that it was giving me. Spike, okay, it held up here, pulled back, held up here, bounced again, held up here again. I didn't see that as a bearish move. Uh, the whole time I was seeing that as, um, trust me, I was holding and hoping the whole fucking time. So if you do this right here, and I put another line right here, um, that is a bearish move. That's the flagpole of a bearish move. It's uptrending, going higher, and it's going to break. It's battling to get past this resistance, but it's going up. The support is getting higher every single time, so the stock is strengthening. And I didn't recognize this right here. And I was just thinking, please just fall, please just fall, please just fall. And the stock ended up squeezing, breaking high a day, and I still was holding and hoping. And I kept asking myself, when the fuck are you gonna get out? You were wrong, which is okay, but you stayed wrong. And I wrote this in my notes. I was wrong, and I stayed wrong after chasing. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I covered here. It took my loss of 1,820, and I didn't want to get back in. The whole time it kept going higher. I was thinking about longing it to see if it would, uptrend and I can make some of that money back. But honestly, I wasn't in the right mindset at that point. I couldn't have. I was in the wrong mindset. I didn't know what to do. Um, and when you get burnt like this, and you stay stubborn here, and you allow yourself to go on a run, it burns you from trying to get back in. Yes, even if you got back in, you would have been wrong on the short side. But if you just flip the switch and get in on a base, if you can, I mean, clearly, if you see it right here, and I'll show you this again. If you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go long now," here's the fucking here's the fucking trend again. If I zoom in right here, you see right here and right here, the bottom, the support is getting higher every time, so it's gonna uptrend. And if you can just switch and switch positions sometimes, that'll let you know, hey, this stock is gonna spike, and that's just trading off of support and resistance, which I don't like to just use support and resistance and flagpole patterns and factors and indicators. I don't trade like that. But if you felt like, man, this is gonna keep short or squeezing higher and higher, or going uptrending higher and higher, that's a strategy you can use. But I failed to even recognize that because I failed to even continue looking at the stock because I was in the wrong mindset the whole time. And and that's it. I had to take my loss here. Then I got so greedy and desperate for a gain that I saw this stock later on, and I just longed it. Uh, when I was looking at XM, I was also looking at TBC, which was the highest percent stock of the day. And as I was watching it, it had faded all day. I mean, all pre-market as I watched it. Then I was like, man, I should short right here. But the intelligence in me was like, no, I don't care what you do, shorting from the bottom. I don't care how far the stock goes down. Do not short from the bottom. That is not the proper strategy. You do not want a big loss. But I prevented myself from doing that. But I ended up doing it here. So literally like 10 minutes later, I ended up doing it here on this stock, which is ridiculous. Um, but it started pushing up. Then it pushed up again, and I was like, "Wow, it's a choppy ass stock. What do I do?" But I should know if I'm gonna short, not to short the first 15 to 30 minutes. So the stock spiked, started spiking some more. It stopped spiking exactly at the 30-minute mark. Dropped, pulled back, bounced, and then started fading. Um, Even if you know I didn't know what to do, I could have been risking here off of high day. Um, Even if it kept pushing up, you gotta give the stock time to fade or to drop. But not only that, you're shorting a first green day. You don't know much about it. Allow the stock time to spike, and that's where I'm feeling at. I shouldn't be shorting green days at all because that's where I get the biggest losses of them all. Excuse me. But not only that, it's just the discipline is horrible. But I longed it here, hoping that it was gonna push up. It started breaking. I covered or I sold, and I took a roughly $150 loss, and that was my trade. But I had to write myself a little motivational note here. Well, first I put that discipline is the main area to improve on. But I also wrote I'm and I meant to put I'm never I put I put I'm never going to give up. I'm still here. I lost roughly $2,000 today. Um, but